Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and this is the next in my QAnon 101 series, Five Eyes and the Fourth Amendment, or, as I like to call it, our government is spying on us. Now, this is going to talk about a program that's called Five Eyes, and this has been going on for a while. It involves 5 different countries: Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and of course the good old USA. These 5 countries have formed an alliance. The purpose behind them has to do with skirting around our Fourth Amendment rights. So let's go to Wikipedia and find out what they're about. The Wikipedia entry tells us that the Five Eyes, often abbreviated as FVEY, is an intelligence alliance comprising Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. These countries are parties to the multilateral UK-USA agreement, a treaty for joint cooperation in signals intelligence. Now, signals intelligence is intelligence gathering by interception of signals, whether communications between people or from electronic signals, not directly used in communication. So you can go ahead and look at that entry if you want to, if you're not sure what that is, but this is something that Q talks about a lot. And if you go on down in the article, you find out that it talks about Edward Snowden. The former NSA contractor Edward Snowden described the Five Eyes as a supranational intelligence organization that does not answer to the known laws of its own countries. Now, that's a very important thing, that it's not answering to the known laws of its own country. Documents leaked by Snowden in 2013 revealed that the Five Eyes have been spying on one another's citizens and sharing the collected information with each other in order to circumvent restrictive domestic regulations on surveillance of citizens. Now, some of you might be aware that the United States has a little something called the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment to our Constitution is one that originally enforced the notion that each man's home is his castle, secure from unreasonable searches and seizures of property by the government. It protects against arbitrary arrests and is the basis of the law regarding search warrants, stop and frisk, safety inspections, wiretaps, and other forms of surveillance, as well as being central to many other criminal law topics and to privacy law. Now, the amendment itself says this: the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, all of this is very pertinent to the time we're in right now, and it's something that Q has been talking about for several months. But this is coming to light right now in our country and what's happening in our government. So how do the Five Eyes and the Fourth Amendment all come together? Well, here's how it works. All 5 of those countries have basic laws like our Fourth Amendment that keep them from spying on their own citizens. In order to get around that, they made this alliance so that someone from the United States can get information about United States citizens by going to London, or by going to Australia, or by going to New Zealand, or by going to Canada. They can go to one of those countries and they can find out all the information that that country has gathered on U.S. citizens. No warrant necessary. This is one reason why Trump wanted to remove the security clearances from some of these people, because they still had access to the Five Eyes material. All they had to do was go and show their ID, and there they could get in and they could find out information about U.S. citizens. This was not safe, especially when you have people like Brennan who are out to get people. So in order to stop him, to prevent him from being able to do that, that's why Trump revoked his security clearance. And that's why he likely will revoke the others, because as long as they have a security clearance, they can go to any of these Five Eyes facilities and they can view information on U.S. citizens. Now, there is no record of this. This is the thing. They go to these countries, they get into their secure location, they can look at anything they want. There is no record of them doing that over here in the U.S. We don't know that they did it. We don't know who did it. We don't know who has accessed those records. It is without any paper trail. And that makes it even more dangerous for them to have that. Okay, and brings us to this Breitbart article about Nunez. Now, this was done back in July 2nd. And if you scroll down in it, you can see it says normally intelligence passed on from a member of the Five Eyes Alliance, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK and the US, to another member comes through an official channel for intelligence sharing. However, Nunez, upon reviewing the document that formally launched the FBI's investigation, said there was no intelligence shared through that official channel, meaning that the intelligence was shared through unofficial means. Again, that type of, if they go there, it's unofficial. It's off the record. There's no paper trail. Nobody knows they did that. And so this is what he was talking about. Now keep that in mind. It's very important that the intelligence was shared through unofficial means. Watch this interview Sean Hannity did with President Trump in Las Vegas. Listen very carefully to what POTUS says here.
The irony in all of this is I have been uncovering all of this. When you think about it, Clinton bought and paid for, used funneled money, a dossier, foreign national put it together.
A lot of money.
They never verified, they never corroborated, and it was the bulk of information. You have now said declassify and redacted. How soon will that be coming?
Well, we're moving along. We're working along. We're also dealing with foreign countries that do have a problem. I must tell you, I got called today from two very good allies saying, please, can we talk? So it's not as simple as all that. And we do have to respect their wishes, but it'll all come out.
Now let's go to some Qposts. First of all, Q gave us this post back on the 21st, which is just a couple of days ago, and he had two of POTUS's tweets. Well, it's really one tweet, it's just continued in two. I met with the DOJ concerning the declassification of various unredacted documents. They agreed to release them, but stated that so doing may have a perceived negative impact on the Russia probe. Pay attention to this next phrase. Also, key allies called to ask not to release. Now think of the Five Eyes program. Key allies. First of all, how are they going to know about this FISA warrant? Because the FISA court is supposed to be secret. Nobody's supposed to know about that. How in the world did these allies know about it? And secondly, why would they be calling him and asking him not to release the document? Therefore, the Inspector General, which is Horowitz, has been asked to review these documents on an expedited basis. Now, if you've watched my other videos on the Inspector General, on Horowitz and Huber, what they've been doing behind the scenes, all under Sessions' control, you'll understand the impact of that. They've already been investigating all this. They have already impaneled grand juries. They have presented their cases. There are already sealed indictments on these people. When POTUS is saying this, it's like, yeah, expedited basis, because the guy already knows what's going on. He's already investigated it. He can say, okay, well, we know what needs to be put out there. And he's already on top of the game. I believe he will move quickly on this and hopefully other things which he is looking at. Look at that one. That is too funny. Talk about Q. This is what they've been doing, what Q has said they're doing, and hopefully other things which he is looking at. What other things is he looking at? He and Huber have been investigating this stuff since November. And what stuff have they been investigating? The FISA court abuse. They've been investigating the DOJ, the Hillary Clinton email investigation, everything that's on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Everything they've been investigating. So he says, and hopefully other things which he is looking at. So he's expecting this to start moving very fast right now. In the end, I can always declassify it if it proves necessary. Speed is very important to me and everyone, because it does need to get out before the midterms, and he's wanting this to be the October surprise. This is going to be an October surprise like one you've never seen before. And then he puts one of his posts right here. Let me show you what that post says, because there's a lot of information in this. Declass of FISA will initiate the resignation, recusal, and or removal of Rod Rosenstein. Declass of FISA will initiate the awareness that all signers will be currently under investigation. Declass of FISA will factually demonstrate without argument the U.S. government under Hussein, which is Obama, knowingly presented false evidence to the FISA court in an effort to obtain legal U.S. intelligence umbrella surveillance of POTUS, the ident target. He was the one that they were actually targeting, but they used the Carter page as an excuse so they could get to him, for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency, not Russia, but Hussein and HRC And projection is the method that they use. Projection is where they accuse other people of things they themselves have done. So it was not Russia that did this. They are projecting that onto Russia when it was in reality Obama and Clinton who did this. Plus, safeguard against possible loss of power, their firewalls, use of back-channel surveillance, spy insertion, body 1, 2, and 5, by UK, Australia. UK and Australia, Five Eyes, right there, two of their Five Eyes partners. Primary, activated under Director Brennan, Director Clapper, with the PDB is the Presidential Daily Brief, regular updates, plus live streaming White House saying Obama, non-oval situation room. Coordination, FISA full brings down the House, the White House. So, and it's not the Trump White House, it's the Obama White House. The full FISA is going to bring that down because it's going to show that they were all involved in this. Okay, so this is what he's saying here. And when you look at the full thing, again, you look at this full thing, you can see he's building the case. And then over here he makes another one. Just a second here, we'll get it. And he's replying to a previous post. This one was July 3rd that he made, and another July 3rd. Where he said, normally intelligence passed on from a member of the Five Eyes Alliance, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, and the US, to another member comes through an official channel for intelligence sharing. This is from that Breitbart article we just read, which is linked to up here. And I will put the links down below, by the way. However, Nunez, upon reviewing the document that formally launched the FBI's investigation, said there was no intelligence shared through that official channel, meaning that the intelligence was shared through unofficial means. So he quotes that same article that we just did. Now, if you go back here to the original, then he also says down here at the bottom, ask yourself, how would foreign allies know what is within a U.S. top-secret FISA warrant? No intelligence shared through that official channel, Five Eyes, is what Nunez said. Ask yourself, why are two key allies very concerned regarding the declass and the release? Why would they be worried about that? You have more than you know. UK, Australia primary. Rats running? The world will know. Anons knew. Just another coincidence? Nothing to see here. Q. Okay, the Anons knew. He's told us this a long time ago. We all know what's coming out in the news right now. We have already heard it. We know what's going to happen. It's like watching a rerun almost, because we know this is going to happen. This is what Q has told us all along would happen. And why was he telling all of this ahead of time? It was because they needed patriots to hear this message and spread it, because the mainstream media is not telling you a lot of this. And this stuff is what's happening, and we're seeing it now come to fruition. So it's not like you can sit there and say, well, Q is just some kind of LARP. It's happening. What Q has said is starting to happen. So in my opinion, if people are saying Q is a LARP, they have no clue what Q has said, because what he said is coming true. It is like we're watching something that's been pre-recorded and we already know what's going to happen. The Anons know. Now, if you go to the post that he did just today, he says, Declassified, RR is Rod Rosenstein, self-incrimination. This is why Rod Rosenstein has kept this from coming out. Because as soon as it comes out, he's dead meat. Because he's so incriminated in it. Rod Rosenstein in charge of the D-Class. Due to massive conflict of interest, IG Horowitz was tasked to final review. For speed reasons. Prevent left in danger sources and methods, plus their Mueller interference narrative. This is why Trump put it through Horowitz, because this is going to silence those two complaints that they have, because Horowitz was appointed by Obama. So they can't complain that he's a Trump man. He's impartial. He's actually a genuinely good man who's been trying to bring out corruption, but he was kept from doing that during the Obama administration. It will all come out. POTUS will not be baited to fire when the release itself will force resignation, termination of Rod Rosenstein. There's a lot of talk that Trump needs to fire Rosenstein. Oh, Trump needs to fire. He's keeping his hands off of this because if he gets involved, they're going to claim it's for political reasons. As long as he keeps his hands off, they can't say that. So that's why he's doing it. And for those who have not been with me on the other things, if you haven't heard, the reason he is ranting on Jeff Sessions right now is because if Trump says one nice thing about Sessions, the left will go crazy and they will call Sessions one of Trump's puppets. And then anything Sessions tries to do, any arrests he tries to make are going to be invalidated and they're going to call them purely a political attack. As long as the mainstream media and the left see Jeff Sessions and President Trump on opposite sides and butting heads, that's a very good thing. That's what we want them to see because they're starting to protect Jeff Sessions and they're holding it up and saying, oh, look at this poor man, Trump is beating on him, and oh, he's trying to do his work and Trump is fighting against him. This way, when Sessions comes out with his arrest, they're going to have a hard time making it a political attack because they have already taken his side against Trump. And it's brilliant, actually. This is a very brilliant strategic move. So let's go on with this. Trump is not going to fire Sessions. He's not going to fire Rosenstein. Rosenstein's going to implode all on his own as soon as the FISA comes out. It will be so obvious that he was involved. It's not going to be a problem. And we kind of got a taste of that with the wire thing. Rosenstein called, according to Q, Rosenstein called the president twice and tried to get a meeting with him, and the president refused. And now we see that he was talking about wearing a wire, so maybe he was trying to set up POTUS. So the UK and Australia plus others must learn the true definition of ally. If they were working together with this Obama, FBI, and DOJ, and they helped them put all this together to try to take down Trump before and after the election, they're guilty of treason against the United States. That's not being an ally. So that's something that we need to have come out too, because they're not being very good allies. Of course, when I'm saying this, it's not everyone in their government, but there are some high-ups in their government that were part of this. Rod Rosenstein prevented from signing new FISAs, or forced from signing new FISAs. All signers are currently under grand jury investigation. So everyone who signed off on that warrant is currently under a grand jury investigation. We did see an article about McCabe, and we know for sure, it came out the other day where it said he was being investigated by a grand jury. McCabe memos confirmed that. There was a New York Times article about Rod Rosenstein, about the wires. This all proves what Q's been saying all along. The rats are panicking. 2018 will be glorious. Prepare for Sky is Falling week. Now, I got to tell you, on the Sky is Falling, people think, oh, well, it's all going to come crashing down. Well, it may not all come crashing down. I think probably what he means here is that the media is going to make it sound like, oh no, the world's going to end if this FISA comes out. Because at first, if you remember, when they talked about this FISA and they released it, they said, oh, well, it's the parts that are redacted that are the real bad parts, the parts that incriminate Trump. As it comes out, we'll find out that no, that's not true. It's like the Nunez memo. I don't know if you remember the Nunez memo, but they were saying, oh, it's got all these things. It's going to reveal all these methods. It's going to reveal our contacts. It's going to just destroy the United States if it comes out. And then it came out, and we found out the reason they didn't want it out was because it was embarrassing to them. And it was showing how corrupt they were. And that's what's going to happen with this FISA. That's why when Trump said he was going to declassify it, all of a sudden they were like, oh, no, you can't release this. No, it's going to just destroy the world. I think this is what Q means when he says the sky is falling week. They're all going to be like Chicken Little and the world is going to end. The sky is falling. Now, it could be that it all happens this week. I don't know. I think Horowitz is going to be pretty fast on what he's doing, so I don't think it's going to take him very long to get the information out there, but I don't know exactly when it's going to hit the airwaves. So, prepare. one way or the other, the sky is falling week. We'll find out, won't we? Anyway, I wanted to share that with you with the Five Eyes because it's all coming together, and these people that were partners with us in the Five Eyes was helping them skirt around our own laws so they could spy on Trump. They were working to take down a duly elected president of the United States. This is treason. This is why when the FISA comes out in the unredacted form, we're going to see the corruption, and then the arrests are going to start. Now, I don't know if we will get to Obama and Clinton yet, but we certainly will get Comey and McCabe and Bruce Orr and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Those are going down for sure. But there are several in there too. Brennan, Clapper, they were all part of it. And Loretta Lynch, Q says that she's been in there talking. I knew they were going to ask her to come in to testify to Congress. I don't know if she actually has yet or not, but I think when she does, she's going to reveal some interesting things. And at that point, I think the tarmac recording will come out. So we've got some things coming up on my channel. I try to give you as much background data as I can. I try to make sure that you understand the whole picture of it with these videos on Q, because there's so much to the Q movement that it's really hard to keep track of it all, and it's hard to put it all in one video. It'd be like a hugely long video. But I wanted to make sure that I get this out to you so you understand what the Five Eyes program is and how it's affecting what's going on right now in our world. So there you go. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.